Good evening. Give some people a chance to join in here. A little bit of a different look for a different thing. Sup, hybrid? Sup, mad dog? National championships tonight, too, so we might not have a lot of people show up, but it's good to iron out the details. So, as you see, whole new look for this. The chat screen is huge because it is dedicated to the chat. You can kind of look at it like the old school AOL chat rooms, but online. And, the reason the chat's so big is because that's what the focus is on. This thing's not going to be topical. We can have people on the show, just like any other time. What's up, Adria? Happy birthday. Thank you. All the music used on the shows is all me, is stuff that I've recorded that I've got years worth of stuff just sitting around. But anyway, this whole thing, is kind of like any of those that were here at the very beginning when we did the Misfit Lounge. This is going to be like the Misfit Lounge for retail, but there's some things that, community input and whatnot that I'd like to do. Not necessarily make it topical, but, we could do things like, an AMA with like some of the OG people that have been around since the beginning, like, Hero, Mad Dog, Iron Maiden, Irish, Blame Tag, or whoever, would like to do it, have them on and, be just like a ask me anything kind of deal. Also to, same rules, no religion, no politics. It's just easier that way. But it's meant to be kind of fun. We could do all sorts of stuff. We could do ask me anythings with people. We could do games, trivia, whatever, that kind of falls within, the workspace that we're all in. And, the whole point was to give us something fun to do that sometimes might not be so serious. The retail wars on Wednesdays is going to continue to be topical, unless, we just don't have anything to talk about. But, that way Wednesday's kind of like the serious thing. Monday's the time for people to jump in, blow off steam, talk about their shitty week at work, talk about how they hate their bosses, whatnot. Of course, anonymous, so nobody gets in trouble. But other than that, that's kind of what we're doing. It's just a hangout. And, we can, whatever you guys got, you throw it out there. We just kind of chill for an hour. And, if it goes longer than an hour, we get into something cool. That's cool too. But hopefully, another thing I'm doing too is the last time I had a stream, there were some technical issues. The network was all kind of messed up. We've had some internet issues here in our home. So I'm sitting here watching stats to make sure that we don't have a repeat of last time, just to make sure. But it's kind of where we're at. And, it's something, that could be fun. I know one time Irish had an idea about doing like a Jeopardy kind of thing with, like retail and service industry topics and stuff like that. So it's more like a community outreach thing. It gives people an opportunity to pop in if they've had a shitty week at work, or a shitty day. Come, tell us what went on, and we'll get into it. Also too, if you look at the bottom of the screen, with the icons, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, whatnot, mailbag, that is specifically for people that may come across this. Maybe they don't want to be in the chat, maybe they can't be here, or whatnot, but they've got something that they want to get off their chest. You know what, send it to the email, we'll cover it. It's we'll do things too, like like maybe have like the retail meme of the week and shit like that. All the tongue in cheek stuff, to get it out of our system. Let us all be juvenile. So as for me, I've had to put streams off. I've got this awful whatever the fuck sickness this thing is. I'll go on record as saying that, just because what my history was with COVID, I would have much rather had COVID than this shit. My voice sounds like a chainsaw. And like Hero says, everyone is sick for $200, Alex. The cough's just debilitating. It's not that I feel awful, but when you're coughing up a lung in the middle of the night and you can't sleep, and then you work, in retail or grocery or whatnot, and you got physical activity you got to do. The next day you get winded real fast. And it's like, I've prided myself for at my age being able to, as one of the guys I work with, apply foot into ass. Yeah, I haven't been doing a whole lot of that. I've been kind of barely treading water the past couple of weeks. So, Mad Dog says, did you see the decor store built a huge new corporate office, all fancy with all glass and bullshit? No, I did not. Maybe Peter Griffin and Lurch can go out there and hang out. I don't know. Hybrid says, I'll take manipulating managers for 100. Sweet. Everybody, like I said earlier, if you just jumped in, it's Adria's birthday today. She shares the same birthday as Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin, which she's a huge Zeppelin fan. So that's cool. It'd be like if my birthday was like George Lynch's birthday. That'd be awesome as shit. So, cool stuff there. Russell says, me and the kids had flu week before Christmas, then pneumonia, but cleared up, yet I still got the cough. Kids don't, thank goodness. Let's see, we got sick. I think Hero started basically on Christmas Day because, I'm one of those people, the Chinese restaurant's open. We went to eat Chinese food with a group of people on Christmas. She had a cough. She said, I didn't like the cough. And the next thing you know, here we go. Boom. So we all been sick like since then. And it's like, well, that just kind of sucks. But glad you guys are feeling better. I know one of the guys I worked with today heard me coughing. He's like, you still got that stuff? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, my brother had it, and it lasts about 5 weeks. I'm like, oh, joy. Cannot wait. Yay. And, I've got a noise gate on my microphone, but every once in a while you might hear people coughing in the background because that's what this is. It's like the cough of death. Mad Dog says, I was sick as a dog starting before Christmas and still have the ick. Yeah, it's terrible. Absolutely terrible. So, real quick, what do you guys think about the graphics? Cool enough? I mean, it's simple, not real serious. I really am proud of myself for the therapy couch there over the chat, so, I'm kind of proud of myself for that. I get bored sometimes and do weird shit. But what you guys want to talk about? What you guys got? And, if we've got people watching and you've never jumped in the chat before, come on in. The water's fine. We don't bite. I promise. Say what you want to say. Have a good time. That's what this is for. Thanks, Hybrid. How's the Ben stuff at the stunt going? Are you still getting good shit, or is it starting to kind of like taper off? Mad Dog, I was listening to the episode we did with you about bargain stunt the other day, talking about all the Big Lots people coming into there and basically ruining it. What I'm doing to let you guys know, but what's up, Karen? Nice to see you. I ventured into the TikTok realm, and look, I'm not looking to get viral or anything. It's just another way to put stuff out there. And I do think we've gained some subscriptions on YouTube because of it. I'm taking bite-sized clips of different episodes and putting it on there and whatnot to just see what happens. There's actually, more plays than there is doing YouTube shorts. But it's just another way to kind of diversify what we're doing. But we get into like really crazy situations and stuff here. What I'll probably do is like take clips of this and you put it on TikTok. Now, this is not going to go up on the audio side of the podcast thing for right now. It's just, this is kind of like super secret, for us, so to speak. This is like our club. I might use clips on TikTok, but that's about it. It'd be a lot of fun though. Adrian says, I got sick last Thursday and I had to work all the way through it because I don't have any sick leave available. I remember reading about that. Yeah, that sucks. It sucks. Hybrid says they canceled our last bin sale. No word on the next. Uh-oh. Russell says, I did TikTok around Halloween. F it. I like it. They all got our info. It don't matter. Yeah, when I posted on Facebook that I took the TikTok plunge, somebody responded, well, the Chinese government thanks you. Do you not think that our own government knows just as much about us as the Chinese government? I mean, look, I'm just a schmo that works at a grocery store. What in the fuck is the Chinese going to do with my information? I'm not really worried about it, right? You know, Adria says, I'm on the upswing now, but still not 100%. Kind of sucks being sick on your birthday. Yep. Well, Hero and I, we had COVID for our anniversary. That is just not the way you're supposed to do that. You know, what's up, Erica? Good to see you. But yeah, the sickness thing. I mean, it's like in our store over the past 2 weeks, man, like everybody's sick. I mean, it's just like left and right. Karen says, I agree with Mad Dog. I hate people too. Yeah. Yeah, I know. We've got kind of like a group chat on Twitter. I know Adria was talking about people using, her name while she's at work because of the name tag. And I think we all agreed that you don't know us. Why are you calling us by name? Don't care what my name tag says. I need to be nameless and faceless. Just stop. We're not like that. Hybrid says, I'm not worried. I'm about to leave anyways. Feel bad for the new manager and the mess she inherited, but she's seen for the past almost month what I've had to endure the past 2 years. So where are you going, Hybrid? Blame tag. Working night shifts are bullshit, especially when you can't be here in the fun. But beware the gnomes. Hero, the customer's freaking coughing and sneezing on you. And see, and Hero basically stocks the medication and stuff most of the time. So she has more contact with sick people than anybody else. So it's like, Erica says, I work graveyard shift, best shift ever. You working overnights? That's my overnight days are over. Adria says, walking around the mask just under their nose. Yeah. It's like, why bother at that point? Adria also says, yeah, I'm not your personal servant. Pulling down their mask to cough. Why? Just why? Yep. Oh, wow. So Erica, you got zero customer interaction. You just do your thing. So those stores, you don't have any 24-hour ones anymore, do you? Or do they still have a few? Adria, if you could real quick kind of throw in the chat, since we're talking about sickness and whatnot, about the cheese samples. Blame Tag says, at least today I realized that when my to-do list is so ridiculously long it can never get done, I can just say, fuck it, and not do any of it. It's a huge load off. Yep. Oh, Hybrid says, was offered a job drafting housing plans. Don't know if I'll take it. Why wouldn't you? Get you out of the mess. By the way, does everybody like the fact that I'm in space back here? That's real nice, right? Fancy schmancy. Just wait till I start getting sound effects in here and shit. It's going to be off the chain. Russell says, masks don't do anything. If you cough all the way on, it still puffs out, letting germs fly. Yep, true. Oh, Blame Tags, the Space Ranger. No, Hero, it's not fire. It's space. Oh, the hat? Well, I figured, since it's different than Warzone, I would wear my Batman hat. So, I got the Warzone Jack Skellington hat, and then I've got the Batman hat, the Batman trucker hat. Karen says, former creature of the night, I miss doing overnight stocking. I do not. My third shift days are over. Third shift and I do not get along. I mean, I can stay up all night long doing like random shit on the internet and playing games and stuff. Working, I've never been good at that. Nope. Mad Dog says, no, it looks like hell back there. No, it's not hell. It's like particles in space and like nebulas and stuff. Come on, man. Get educated. Hybrid says, was only offered it because I know someone who knows the owner and I don't want the job just because of that. Oh, well, okay. I mean, that's fair. But I mean, it might get you out of retail. That's not a bad thing. And, we talk about that a lot. And it really comes down to the job that you have. I mean, I really do enjoy my job now. I really do. It's nice not having keys. And so it's great. Mad Dog says, I'm going to get my eyes checked Thursday, so there's that. Blank Tank says, I missed the super early shifts, like 6 to 2. Used to get a lot of merch work done. Well, yeah, I mean, you get a lot done before the customers come in there and fuck everything up. That's the worst part. You merch shit and whatnot, and then the doors open at 8 or 9, and then you watch all your work go to shit. Karen says, I had 10-hour shifts and spent half the night playing Hot Shots Golf. Hey, when I worked third shift at Office Depot, way back in the day, we didn't do hardly shit, and we sat on the computers and played video games. We played, the manager and I played Scrabble so much against each other that there were documented instances of me talking triple and double word score in my sleep. True story. Karen says, I got my work done in 3 hours. Yeah, I mean, that's the cool thing. If you get your work done and you just kind of chill from there. But yeah, third shift, it physically did something to me. It was like, I almost felt like I was sick working it. And it wasn't, I mean, I was working, I was doing what I was supposed to do, but I just felt miserable after it. Absolutely hated it. And God forbid, when I worked for Kmart, it was like, oh, guess what? You're the hard lines assistant manager, so you get to work third shift over Thanksgiving. That was some bullshit. I think that was the last time I worked third, too. Russell says, I've seen where the new DC Negan being Batman doesn't work. Well, I also saw that that there's some rumors as far as Batman goes. The dude from Supernatural, I can't remember his name. I know that Hero and Mad Dog will throw it out here real quick. I guess the guy who plays Dean, he voiced Batman in like cartoons, but they're talking about him being Batman. So I don't know. Hero says Steve's body doesn't recognize the time between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. That's about right. Yeah, Jensen Ackles. There we go. Thank you. I don't know how I feel about that. I think it should just leave Batman alone for a while. I think that we need to just do Batman, beyond and keep it moving. I mean, we got Michael Keaton playing Batman in the Flash movie, if that ever comes out, because Ezra Miller's and all sorts of fucking bullshit, but it would be kind of cool to see Michael Keaton as old Bruce Wayne and then have somebody be Terry McGinnis from Batman Beyond. That'd be cool. And there's the cough. Beautiful stuff. Same with Swing Shift. It sucks you up. Clopins suck if you're a store manager. Especially if you got somewhere where you got to be working like 6, but you close at like 11. Those are awful. Howard says there's only so many times you can see pearls falling on the street. That's true. That's true. But, that's the story. That's how it goes. I don't know what's going to happen with the Flash. I mean, you invest all that money making the movie, you might as well put it out. It would not surprise me if it winds up streaming and doesn't go to theaters. Yeah, Clopin suck all the way around, Karen. Adria says, I had to bring the Robitussin to work with me for 4 days just so I wasn't coughing all day. Yeah, I can understand. Blaine Tank says, I got Clopin Friday, Saturday this week. Oh, that's awful. The Friday, Saturday Clopin is the worst. But, in a lot of management situations, like store managers, you were required to close on Friday. And you had to open on Saturday. It was kind of like you automatic Clopin. Oh, Throw Punch says, I worked with walking pneumonia. I don't know. For all I know, this is what I fucking got. I don't know. I'm no doctor. I'm not going to the doctor. I live in the United States of America. Healthcare is at a premium. So unless I feel like I'm going to die, I'm just going to walk through it. Prescription cough medicine. Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice, but I mean, I'll be all right. I mean, I don't get sick that often. Normally it's like 2 times a year. And this is, I mean, to me, this is very similar to something I had in 2019, right before COVID hit. I just gotta, work through it and let it run its course. Yeah, Adria, if I had walking pneumonia, I would probably work through it. Fortunately, I did have holiday pay, so I was able to use a couple holidays, get a couple days off. But still, I mean, we talk about, retail and all this other stuff. There's still a certain way some of us are built about how we work. And, I was picking and choosing. I'm like, well, I could take a holiday and be off this day and get some rest. So that way I don't miss a truck day, because this is kind of instilled in you. I mean, you have a job to do and you go do it, you know. And, if I was working for somewhere shitty, that treated me like garbage, no, I wouldn't care. But, I work with some good people, so I try to tough it out. Howard says, I have about $7,000 in medical debt that's never going to get paid until you file your taxes. They're going to get their money. Mad Dog says, NyQuil. Yep. Throat Punch says, the DM we had at the time. You know who? So, wow, you like death. I said, thank you, sir. Oh, that guy was such a prick. Such a prick. Hero says, some idiots think truck day won't happen without them. I know it'll happen without me. But when you look at our crew, if one of three of us isn't there, we got a problem. Karen says that thinking is kind of warped. It is warped. Look, there's just some things you can't change. What else we got? So, but yeah, so these these things, with the therapy sessions, if you have people, you guys that are in chat, bring people along. This is meant to be what it is so far. Just rant and rave. The cheese incident is under the bingo card under nasty stuff. Russell was out 3 weeks almost, and job was so considerably nice. That's another thing too. If you're working for somebody right now that, gives you shit about being out, that's probably not good. I mean, going through the pandemic, that's one thing should have fixed. Jason, pay attention. That statement right there. The older gen like us work, though. The new kids call out with a runny nose. Wednesday night, we're going to discuss exactly that. And guess what? The results aren't what you think. And there's data to prove it. Because the one thing that is universal amongst all age groups is lazy is lazy. It's not reserved just for a certain age range. There's data. It's going. If you're off, Jason, come check that out, because it really goes into like millennials, Gen Z, and the whole 9 yards. And I did a shit ton of research on this, and it's actually kind of amazing. And just as an aside, and I'm just going to put this out here now. We typically have an opinion about certain workers being lazy and whatnot. And that may be true. That may be 100% true. But who do we blame? Do we blame the younger generation or the folks that raised them? There's where you find your answer. Yep, seasoned that are lazy. Yep. Making food for people to eat raw. I couldn't put that harm people. True. Hero says, I call out when I have a fever. That's just happened way too much. But yeah, I mean, and you should call out if you have a fever, because at that point, technically, you're contagious. Karen says, today one of our dudes had to pick up 40 car batteries from a customer, and the younger new dude walked away rather than help move the batteries. These are car batteries. Yep, those are heavy. But there again, too, work ethic is something that is taught. And it's not taught at a job. It's taught at home. Because I can promise you, if you talk to my 2 youngest children right now, they want to work. It really, really has to do with what I call the Veruca Salt syndrome. If you're familiar with Willy Wonka and you're familiar with Veruca Salt, who was also a great band, by the way, Daddy Get Me Everything. If you spend your entire formative years where you're given everything and you get out in the real world, guess what? Your parents did you a terrible injustice because they sent you out into the world thinking shit just going to hand it to you. Don't work that way. So blame the parents, not the kids. That's true too, Jason, and that's an upbringing thing. It's 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 the parents' responsibility to teach manners and decorum. Okay, and and it's a parent's responsibility to instill to kids what the world is outside of the house. And and there are some byproducts of some situations. I mean, let's say you got a group of parents. They both work. They both work full time. They're never home. I mean, it happens. Okay, I mean it does. But you have parents that maybe have great jobs with a lot of money, and they buy shit, and they're buying affection, and they're trying to overcompensate for not being there. But the message that it sends is, if I don't get my way, it's a whole thing. Like I said, there's a lot of data behind it, and I was hoping to do it last week, but it's coming up Wednesday, so it'll be good. Karen says, I have a housemate who has never had to work, likely never will. See, that's crazy. I don't, and Erica, you're right. Boomers fucked all of us because it really starts with them. So you got boomers, you go into millennials. So where's the disconnect? Now, I have a theory, and I don't want to get into too much in this because we'll talk about all of it, Wednesday. But I have a theory that, that maybe the generation that the boomers raised, maybe their kids looked at how miserable their families were, looked at how miserable their parents were. And they're like, I don't want that in my life. Because there's a lot of misery. I mean, there really was, and, but like I said, we'll get into all that Wednesday. It'll be interesting. It really is. I mean, I will say that I have a hard time with people like narrowing, saying, well, if they're between the ages of 20 and 26, they're going to suck. That's not true. That's not true. That's correct. Adria, Gen X. We find through the data that things really started changing with the millennials. Gen X was a precursor of awareness. They started to figure it out. So it's interesting. See, Karen, I think that's something that a lot of us don't realize is your upbringing has a lot to do with your outlook on life. And all you've ever heard was, you work real hard and you get this and you get that, and you see your parents that did that and they're miserable. You live it, for the entire time you're being raised, and you're like, I don't want that. I mean, really and truly, it's just common sense. And what's happened with every generation's gotten smarter. Believe it or not, they're more cognizant to it. And that's the reason why, if you look at the thumbnail for the video for Wednesday, they just want better. And we'll explain all that then. Same thing, Jason, I remember. It's, but a lot of people have forgot, scrubbing toilets for $5 an hour. I treat everyone like a CEO, even my cleaning people. And that's the way you should. And those lessons have been lost, unfortunately. And what happens is, and you're one of the few. I mean, you get a lot of people that get into management, they forget where they come from, especially when you cross over into like district managers and regionals. They sure as fuck forgot where they came from. A lot of them are so far removed from being in a store that they couldn't run a store anymore. They'd struggle. I mean, they really would. I can think of one right now. Lurch would struggle because they've lost it. They got into the corporate world, and it's a totally different thing. And I think what you find with DMs, long term DMs, they forget where they come from. They really do. Russell says, when people working in management say my people, and just think your bosses think the same about you, and look how you look at your DMs, or etc. Yes. What's up, nightmares? My old district manager was convinced he was a god. It's unfortunate. See, yeah. Oh, and to Mad Dog's point, talking about Lurch, watching football and eating gummy bears. This district manager was sitting in my office, feet on the desk, watching football while bitching about the store. Bro, it don't work that way. Hero says, once again, I am here saying the people at the top should have to go work at the lowest performing store for at least a week every quarter. Well, I agree with that 100%. However, the structure of HR and the structure of regionals and all that stuff will ensure that if that happens, they'll walk away thinking, well, this isn't so bad. There has to be a breakdown of everyone underneath to say, okay, fine, this person's going to come see what we deal with. Never works that way. A district manager will never, ever, ever let that happen. Ever. It will be they will pressure the store managers to the breaking point to make sure it's as close to perfect as possible. So when that person from the top comes, they get to work basically in fantasy land for a day, walk away thinking, whoa, I handled that just fine. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all bullshit. Jason says they should take a month and do every job in the store to remind them of the struggle. Same thing. The core concept is 100% correct. They should have to do that. But you've got to eliminate all the chains in between the C-suite and the store to where whoever's at corporate walks into a building as it is day to day. But there's no regional manager, there's no district manager ever going to allow that to happen. If you take the RVPs out and the DMs out, sure, but it'll never happen. That's fucking fairy tale land. Never going to fucking happen. The upper people aren't going to work an entire week. At best, you can give them 2 days. And at best, they would tour. They'd be like, okay, we'll work a day in this store, we'll work a day in another store. I'm telling you, that shit does not work. It doesn't. There are too many people, too many roadblocks between the upper echelon and the store level to ensure that their experience will not be what it really should be because of fear of losing their jobs, all sorts of stuff. It's just how it's instilled into all these people. The concept itself should happen. By God, it should. But if that was the case, you wouldn't know when your regionals and your DMs are coming. How many of you out there in management get a phone call? Hey, so-and-so's coming into the region. They're going to be visiting this store and this store. Here's their itinerary. You find out where they're going. And then basically you're told you better be right before they get there. There aren't very many. That is by design. And it's the biggest bunch of illusion, smoke and mirrors that you'll ever fucking see. Work on Saturdays, Jason. That's why they'll never be there. They get the weekends off. Scrub a toilet that's overflowing because someone flushed sensors. Nice. Adria says, working 1 day on your feet for 8 hours is not the same as working 8 hours a day, day in, day out. Yes, that's correct. It's all smoke and fucking mirrors. I mean, the closest thing that can come to it is like Undercover Boss, but it not be a television show. It has to be like a sting operation where, it's not televised, where people can go in and see. Because let me tell you, I mean, especially when you get stores like Dollar Tree and things like that, you get the phone calls. You know where they're going to be. It's almost like your DM is like, a human GPS system. We're going to go to this store, we're going to go to this store, we're going to go to this store, and then we're going to be at your store by such and such time. There is no sneak attack. And if you do get sneak attacks, and this is pretty much documented proof, if you get a sneak attack from like the CEO, it's going to be in a store in the surrounding area from where their office is. Well, those surrounding stores know that. The surrounding DMs and RVPs know that. So the pressure on those stores that are close to home office is worse than anything else any of us have dealt with, because they're on the chopping block 24/7 to make sure that if the CEO from company A walks in, they're always good. It's all smoke and mirrors. I said one time before to somebody, as a manager running store, 80 to 90% of what you do is illusion, right? If it looks good, it is good. And that's the problem with the business. Adria says they're just touring working class life. Fucking tour. Yep, that's correct. And you're right, Jason. They want yes managers. Hero says no refund, so catering to the customer, no F's given, and if you break it, you buy it. Teach your goblin not to touch. Never happened. We're past that now. No, they're covering his, her. Yeah. They are covering, but it's a system that's yet to be broken. That's been going on for decades. A visitor comes in, you know when they're coming. Your shit better be together, or they're gonna run you off. I mean, the phone calls come. I mean, it's not, a secret. I mean, it's not like, the CEO flies in to like bumfuck Egypt and says, I'm going to go all to these stores. No, it does not happen that way. And that's a shame. Because, I mean, everybody's right about how that should happen. Never fucking happen. Never fucking happen. Mad Dog says, that's why Stuart Little didn't like me. I'm not a yes person. Yeah. And that's the other thing. If you're not a yes person now, you're considered part of that generation that doesn't want to work and doesn't respect. That's bullshit too. Absolute bullshit. But, I do appreciate the fact that people that have worked in this business a long time feel like these people should work in the building. I just don't know what it's ever going to take for them to see it for real. You'd have to take let's just say Dollar Tree, for instance. The CEO from Dollar Tree needs to get in a plane and fly to the most challenged ghetto area in the company, unannounced, walk in plain clothes, don't say who he is, and just see what goes on. Then go to the next store over. Then once you gather this, if CEOs really wanted to do that, they wouldn't announce where they were going now, would they? Even the CEOs will let people know, hey, here's where I'm going. They don't want to know the truth either. What's up, Joey K? Haven't seen you in a while. Came in to say a lady came in this return season who brought me a gift card to preemptively apologize for how many items she had. Her penance was accepted. Hey, that's kind of cool, though. Really. Congrats. Hero says, hey, think about it. Working there, getting to do that would have been a perk in itself. Maybe it would catch on. True. Hybrid says, it's okay, Mad Dog. No one is liking me right now except the new manager and new DM. The new DM isn't going to like me by the end of the month, though. Huh. Man, I'm so glad that I'm not in that game right now. And I talk about that a lot. I talk about the fact that I haven't had to do it. What happens? One day I might have to get back into it. I'm keeping my fingers crossed I don't, but you never know. I mean, we live in a world where, the deck's stacked against the working folk. I may have to give up what I'm doing to go jump back with a set of keys. So, yeah. Hello, Jeanette. Welcome. I agree with you. Let them come and see how their stores are really being run. Exactly. Don't warn anybody. If CEOs really cared, they wouldn't tell us all. But if CEOs are letting people know where they're going and that information is filtering down, they're expecting all the rungs underneath to jump to make things right, to boost their ego because they're coming. A CEO that gives a damn, that really wants to know what's going on, won't let a damn soul where they're going, and would do it for quite a while. Like if I was CEO and I wanted to see what was going on, I'd spend a month traveling all over to different stores, taking notes. Wouldn't let it. I'd be in like street clothes. Nobody would know who I was. Wouldn't talk to anybody, and I would gather my information as I went around, and then maybe all of a sudden there's like a massive corporate meeting where all the DMs get called up. And you'd be like, I was in this store and this store, because chances are they could jump from district to district to district to district and see the same problems. Bring your regional managers in, bring your DMs in and say, look, I spent X amount of time touring all your stores, and this is what I found. Do it that way. But they don't. They don't. They absolutely don't, which is stupid. Albert says, I'm going to hold the new store metaphorically hostage. Do that. I could give them payroll, supplies, training, or whatever. That's the catchy part. Because as a store manager, you're grilled like if you get a visit, you're supposed to let somebody know. I think it would be better for a CEO to go into a bunch of stores unannounced, incognito, don't talk to anybody. Have the meeting, right? Tell the regionals and the district managers what they've seen. Get them to come up with a plan. Give it a few weeks, maybe a month. Start going back to stores, and then start talking to managers. Because at that point, the CEO has said, all right, I've visited all these stores. We've got these problems. I need a game plan from you guys, a timeline and when you're going to execute it. You give them that timeline, and you go out again, and you don't tell a soul. And then you start talking to managers then. You know, you got to hold the regionals and the DMs accountable, and that's what's not happening. You know, and the first thing that happens if a store gets a bad visit, the regional and the DM go tear into the store manager, no matter what the situation is, and basically run them off. Jeanette says, I was a big mouth and didn't take the nastiness of management. They tried to break me after 7 years of it. I let them do it. I called them out on their own rules, and they didn't like it. That's what happens. But you know what? If you got out unscathed and you found something better afterwards, it was worth every bit of it. It was worth saying what you needed to say. Anybody else buffering a lot? You know, I'm looking at my stats. They're actually pretty good. Occasional minor buffering. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm on a Charter. Oh, no, Spectrum. It's not the greatest. That's another reason why I want to do this too, because, you know, I got a lot more going on the Warzone threads. So this is kind of giving me an idea of where I'm sitting. And actually, it's not bad. It's nowhere near what it was last time. Plus, too, I have a screen next to me where I can see, like I do see that it is actually buffering a little bit on Twitter. YouTube looks good. Twitch is showing there was a network error. And then it won't let me reboot there. And then Facebook looks to be good. The one thing I will say, and this is something I want to throw out there to everybody, is I'm very seriously considering consolidating down strictly to YouTube for the live streams. Number one, it's easier to have one place to go. Number two, you know, I don't make any money off this, and I pay $20 a month to stream to these multiple platforms. The only reason I haven't pulled the plug is because it's real easy for people to log into Twitch with an alias or whatnot. So I would encourage all of you going forward that are here, maybe go create an account for YouTube, you know, that's anonymous, you know, with an anonymous screen name. So you can do it here, because I just think going forward, in the future, that would be the best place to be. The Google architecture from a technological standpoint is better. I can ditch paying the $20 a month, and we are all in just one place. And it's something I've thought about. I would hate to lose the Facebook side of it. The Twitter side really doesn't do a whole lot. I mean, because whoever's watching on Twitter can't comment. It doesn't show up, and so that's something I've been looking at doing. So kind of let me know your thoughts on that, because, I see Erica's on Facebook, Russell's on Facebook, Mad Dog's on, Twitch, Heroes on Twitch, Jeanette's on Facebook. I just think it would be easier for everybody to have one place to go, and it would eliminate a lot of streaming issues. It eliminate a lot of buffering issues. And if we did that, and also there are buffering issues with YouTube, then maybe it's something different. Maybe it's something with the computers, or something with, the local network or whatnot. But something I've been thinking about, so kind of, keep that in mind. So Russell, go get you a YouTube, and Mad Dog, same thing for you. Create some bogus account with, an anonymous name. So, let's see. Karen says the previous boss had a visit from corporate, and after the visit, GM was sick in his stomach. Yeah, that's what happens. Erica says you're not paid to think. Yep. Jeanette, it's sad how they get other employees to help beat you down. Yeah, they do. I mean, it's terrible. I mean, and that, and that's why we have the podcast anyway, is it's, people don't understand retail, grocery, service industry, restaurant, bartenders. These businesses are hard, man, and it takes a special kind of person to survive them. And I've said this before, if the pandemic proved anything, it proved that the world couldn't survive without us at all. And it's funny. It also kind of proves the shitty part of humanity, because we were essential when they needed us. But when everything started lifting up and things got normal, they got back to treating us like shit. So, I mean, that's the sad nature of the business. And it's a shame, because I would imagine 20, 30 years ago, in the heyday of retail, it was a great job to have. But we've done so much, these corporate, the customer's always right, bending and breaking on policy and all these different things. We've let the customer dictate how the business operates, and we've put employees in harm's way doing so. And, you took a job that 30 years ago was cool. It was hard work, but you didn't deal with what you deal with. And then all of a sudden we just let the inmates run the asylum, and now it's hell. And, it goes back to what my whole thing was with the retail war zone, is employees are more than a controllable expense. I was having a conversation with an employee today who actually felt like that they have been fed the line that if wages go up, prices go up. And I had to tell them that's not true. And, and I kind of thought, well, what's the first thing a company cuts if sales are down? People. Okay, you cut people, then customers complain about how there's no customer service. But yet, at the same time, you want the customer to always be right? Come the fuck on, man. It's not rocket science. Figure it out. There's a reason why, when you look at your profit and loss statement, under controllable expenses, the number one's payroll. Period. Karen says, I like what I do now because I am alone while I drive to customers, listen to my murder shows. Hey, and that's cool. Just like I like what I do. Jeanette said it wouldn't have to be this hard if everyone started to be human and yeah, to be human. That's it. If everyone started to be human. But the lack of respect that workers get at your Walmart, your grocery stores, your CVS's, these employees get abused for the fact that the guys at corporate cut payroll and there's not enough people there to serve them. Nobody signed up for that. None of us, when we applied for a job, it didn't say, are you willing to take abuse from everybody that walks in the door due to our decisions? That's not a box that you check when you apply online, right? And Russell says, yeah, that's where self-checkout comes in. If you got to cut hours, the machines are there. All right, Russell, I'm going to call you out. We had an entire episode on this, and I have a big just thing about self-checkouts, all right? The myth is that self-checkouts cost jobs. They do not. What companies have done is the most important job in the store, Russell, and you know this, is freight flow and getting store shelves stocked. What they did is they took the payroll that they were using on the front end and transferred it to get product on the shelf for people. I don't have a problem with self-checkouts. I've never had a problem using one. I've never had a problem when it blinks at me and says, there's a problem, you need help. It's technology. Technology doesn't work all the time. These people that get pissed off about self-checkouts can go fuck themselves. You don't like it, go shop somewhere fucking else. I like self-checkouts. You know why? I don't have to deal with anybody. I can bag my own shit quicker, and I can get out the fucking door. If you guys are complaining because somebody isn't doing shit for you, go shop somewhere fucking else. I am sick of the goddamn fucking self-checkout argument. Fuck off. Go learn how business works. Go learn how payroll works. Then come back and get with us. Until then, go to the corner mart and let somebody bag your shit so you can feel superior that somebody's doing something for you. Self-checkouts are great. They really are. When you're working in a store that gets big trucks and you don't have the payroll to support getting the freight out, and all of a sudden self-checkouts come in and you get 3 or 4 more bodies on the floor to help you put this truck out, fuck yeah, we can go up there and hug the self-checkout. We're going to slip a tongue in the ear of the self-checkout. It's not that serious, guys. If you don't like it, go somewhere the fuck else. Let's see. Blank tag, there's that dude who always sniffs me every time. Exactly. The self-checkout thing pisses me off because those same motherfuckers don't pay attention to the news, and they don't understand what AI is, and they don't understand what AI is about to do to the entire business. It comes down to a bunch of fucking assholes who think they should be waited on. No. What? So basically, if somebody can't ring you up, you mean you can't take care of yourself? That's the way we should start spending. Oh, big man, I'm so sorry. You can't bag your own stuff. Are you helpless? Do we need to help you with every little thing? Fuck off. Y'all got me pissed now. I'm sorry. Self-checkouts equals increased theft to a point, yes. But if you have a manager staff who doesn't give a fuck what's going on the floor, you got more shit walking out the door when they're there than through the self-checkouts. Proven fucking fact. See, and that's an argument. Self-checkouts increase theft. Okay, you should have somebody running self-checkout. Where I'm at, we've only got like 6. If we got a lot of theft coming out of that, we got a problem. Walmart's a little bit different, but Walmart's got cameras on everything too. It comes down to your management staff in the building as far as theft goes. And I just want to put this out there. Professional thieves pay attention to the management staffs. They pay attention to which managers sit in the office. They pay attention to which managers are on the floor. That's why they're professional thieves. And they wait for when it's easy pickings and they go get it. Hybrid, I understand that too, but it doesn't bother me because that is the price you pay for using self-checkout. There's age-restricted stuff. To me, it doesn't bother me. It's like, okay, fine. I'll wait. I don't care. I'd rather not fuck with a cashier and piss them off. Just do your thing, man. Blame Texas, we got one worker watching every 4 self-checkouts. I don't know how our theft is, but I think our shrink's always my bad. Well, you see, and that's the thing, too. Everybody likes to say, well, theft goes up with self-checkout. Man, these places' theft were already bad. I mean, it really comes down to that. Erica, you're right. Organized retail crime at its finest. That's the thing. Organized retail crime will make off with whatever they need to make off with, whether they're self-checkout or not. It's just bullshit. And I'm all for technology and streamlining things. And like I said, I love self-checkout. I do not go through, the only time I will go to a person is when it's Walmart and it's busy, and I'll go to electronics. Not because I hate self-checkout, but because the self-checkout line is all the way through the store. I love self-checkout. Let me go do my shit and get out. And, you know, there's going to come a time when all these people that hate it die, all right? And self-checkout's going to be king. It's convenient. It is. Just go do your thing. It's not that bad. Adria says self-checkout theft is minor at our store. It's like people putting in the wrong produce code. Plus the store budgets for it. Exactly. Thank you, Adria. That is the most pertinent comment as far as theft goes. These stores have a shrink budget. And until their shrink budget is exceeded, they don't care. They already expect to lose X amount of dollars every year. And as long as they're under that, they don't care how much goes out. The store manager may. The other managers may. Corporate, they don't care. If they've got you pegged at a 1% shrink and you're underneath that, they don't give a fuck what walks out your door. And they don't care if it's walking out through self-checkout, out the back door, out the front door. You stay under that, you're golden. Russell says, and with the argument of self-checkout, you're saying the cashier's job isn't as important as a stalker. Bullshit. If you have a nice cashier, they'll prevent more than just an average shoplifter. Cashiers bring people back in most cases than self-checkout. They got robot. No, Russell, that's bullshit. Cashiers don't bring people back. Location and product variety brings people back. I get the touchy-feely, oh, people need to be there. That's cool. I get that. But cashiers don't bring people back. And if you believe that, Russell, you and I worked a long time together. Cashiers do not make a difference overall in enough percentage of people to impact the business, whether they come back. You know better than that. Absolutely, you know better than that. What brings people back is product mix, product availability, pricing, and in-stock position, not Sally Joe cashier. Because if it did, Russell, when Sally Joe cashier gets fired because she didn't get enough credit cards, the customer count doesn't go down at all. This is common sense business. I'm all for the humanitarian part of retail and cashiers and whatnot, but look, man, let's call it for what it is. We sell goods and services. We don't sell cashiers. The only reason a cashier matters is somebody doesn't want to use self-checkout and they want Sally Joe cashier to ring their shit up. No cashier is going to impact the business enough to have their picture on the wall and say, this cashier is the reason we made $7.2 million this year. Doesn't work that way. Never has, never will. Period. You can disagree all you want, Russell. You've done this for a long time. You know better. And you're talking about stores in Simpsonville and Malden. You're talking about areas that aren't as populated. When you get into big cities and shit where the money is coming in, those cashiers don't fucking matter. Because guess what? If they did, The fucking managers wouldn't cut their hours when sales are down. It's common sense business, bro. Correct, Adria. People come back for the location of products. We're not talking about mom and pop stores. We're not talking about a grocery store in an area that doesn't have a lot of people. But all of us would be foolish to think that a cashier, one cashier, two cashiers, three cashiers, four cashiers, five cashiers, are the difference between bringing somebody in and not, especially when you sell necessities. People are going to come buy necessities no matter what cashier is there. Period. That's why grocery stores print fucking money. It ain't because of the cashiers. Period. So, having said that, this has been fun. We're sitting an hour or two. I hope everybody had a good time. Not trying to offend anybody. Good night, Karen. Good to see you here. I want to thank Karen, Adria, Hybrid, Russell, Hero, Jeanette, Blame Tag. Everybody that's been in the chat has been cool. This is what you can expect from Monday nights. We're just going to chop it up. You know, you guys being here, your opinions matter. Our opinions don't have to align. Our opinions don't have to agree. But that's what makes this cool. So, everybody, this is a great first time. I had a pretty decent amount of people watching. There were some people watching that weren't chatting or whatnot. Next time, hopefully they can get in. Spread the word. Bring your friends. You know, we'll keep going. And we'll have a good time next time. Exactly, Adria. This is what this is meant to be. All of us get to bitch and moan. And Katie barred the door. So, happy birthday once again, Adria. Russell, great to have you here. Good to have your perspective.